The Weekend UpNate.
The Weekend UpNate.
Your weekly recap of news, current events, and trending stories. Let's do this. The Weekend UpNate with your host, Nate Armbruster.
Hello and welcome to episode 42 of Weekend UpNate. It's been a hell of a week, but first, let me tell you about my weekend. All right, now starting with the Chicago Marathon, which I did not run in, but whether or not you run in the Chicago Marathon, it will affect your weekend. First of all, I hate marathons, okay? That's just my personal feeling toward them, all right? If you like to run them, this is not a personal attack on you, okay? But I will say, marathons are among the dumbest events ever. I say that for a few reasons, which I will explain. First, it's 26.2 miles. That is way too far to run. And why 0.2? Like, if you already got to 26, it's like, good for you. You did it. That's pretty amazing. But at this point in society, probably millions of people have done this, okay? You're not special. That's the thing. Now, it is an amazing accomplishment, okay? I don't want to take that away from people who run marathons, because I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't do it. But it's like having a baby. When someone has a baby and they try to act like they're the first person to ever birth a child, I hate that, like, that attitude that comes with it. And not everybody's like that, but there are people like that who it's all about them and, like, look at me, look what I did, look at this thing that's so special. It's the same thing, and it gets on my nerves a little bit. I just think that if you couldn't talk about it, no one would run in a marathon. I think it's amazing that someone can run that far and in like a crazy amount of time too, like in a crazy fast pace. But first of all, you paid $250 to do it, right? Or whatever it is. It's more than $200. And now I'm supposed to come cheer you on. My attitude is like, no, you did this to yourself. Good luck. I hope it goes well, but I'm not coming, man. Now, I went to lunch today, and one thing about Marathon Weekend in Chicago is you'll notice so many people walking around the city that clearly just ran the marathon, right? They're in all their running gear. They're wearing a medal. Yeah, that's the other thing. You get a medal for completing it. Even if you're when I watched it on TV, it's on TV too. They televise this thing, and when I threw it on this morning, there were 3 dudes in the front that were like leading the entire race, and it was unbelievable how fast they were running. And apparently they do it like every year. You know, they're kind of like known in the marathon community. Now that's amazing. That's the guy that gets a medal. The guy that takes 12 hours to complete it, which would be me, by the way. Now, okay, maybe I'm being too harsh, because I know I'd probably want a medal too if I did it and completed it in 12 hours. I guess my biggest issue with marathons as a whole is that you pay to run 26.2 miles. Now, I know that money goes toward the organization planning the thing, and because you need amenities like, just the organizing of the event. It's like, it's a big deal. So there are, hundreds of runners that are doing this. So I guess it makes sense why they must charge people to do this. But paying to do something that you can do for free is just stupid to me. Like, if you want to run 26.2 miles, sure, go ahead and do it. Do it right now. You can go out and do that any day. And you can still train for that, which, by the way, the training cracks me up. The people I know in my life who have run marathons, they do some pretty intense training, and they run every, they have like a schedule for running and how far they're supposed to run. They do like a few miles, then it works its way up to 20. Now, about a week and a half or so before the marathon, they ran 20 miles for their final training. And to me, I'm like, dude, just run the other 6 and be done with it. Like, that's pretty damn close. I think you can just call it, right? This is just the part that I think is like silly about it. Like, I was at lunch today. We got lunch in there. There's a huge group there sitting around, and like they had just run the marathon, and they're eating lunch and drinking, and the entire time we're there, people kept walking in, and people would cheer and like scream, "Yeah, all right, way to go." It's like your standard, like, you did it. People would just stand up, clap, and cheer and go nuts for these people that walked in. And I'm like, yeah, they also ran it. And it also took them, and you're in your head, you're like, it probably took them like, it's what seems like 8 hours. Which, not, like I said, that's still amazing to me because I couldn't do it. But I will say, I'm not standing up and cheering for you at the restaurant. Okay, you chose to do that. Sure, have a seat, get a drink, order some lunch, but this is the 4th time we're clapping for people who paid and signed up to do this thing that it's like, what? Now I got to get up and clap for this guy? Like, marathons in my head are turning into comedy, where it's like there's so many people doing it now, and it's not that impressive anymore. It's like there's like everybody's run one. So many people have run one. People I know who don't run did one just to do it. They're like, I'm just going to see if I could do it. And they did it. So I'm not that amazed. Now, I am amazed when the time is unbelievable. Like, for example, the leaderboard for the entire Chicago Marathon this year, the top 6, they're all from Ethiopia, or Kenya or Ethiopia. And all of their times were like 2 hours and 4 minutes to 2 hours and 7 minutes. That's unbelievable. They ran 26.2 miles in just over 2 hours. That is nuts. Here's the difference, though. That guy's not going to the same places I am for lunch. You know what I mean? That guy's true athlete. So anyway, if you are listening to this and you have run a marathon, don't take this personal. You're still better than me. I get it. You just don't have to rub it in my face by ruining traffic all weekend. Okay? That's my biggest gripe with the marathon, is that the whole city's rearranged and it's full of people that aren't from here that don't know where they're going. Really, all this boils down to is me hating traffic, I guess. I guess that's all. I guess that's all it is. So, like I said, congrats to anyone who ran in the marathon. That's amazing. All right, on to a couple of, I guess, newsy stories, right? So Hurricane Ian completely ruined a large part of Florida, and people are devastated, and that sucks. Now, I'm sure you've been seeing some of the coverage. This is what I don't understand about hurricanes. I think I've mentioned this on the last episode, but this is the thing I hate about it, is the people who decide to stay, and then it's everyone else's responsibility to save them. Like, just leave. Or if you're going to stay, like, if you're going to be the tough guy and be like, no, man, which, it's home, I get it. But, it's probably smarter to leave. Okay, because you're not gonna save anything. It's gonna win every time. Now, on the other hand, I have friends in Tampa who literally were like, "Oh no, we just stayed and it was fine." Like, they had really bad rain, but they by no means were hit with like the worst of the storm. I don't think they even lost power, which is unbelievable. But I'm blown away by how many people just stay, and I just don't think I would. I don't think, even if it is home, like, even if I was born and raised, like, I would probably still be like, you know what? I don't know, maybe just grab a few things that I need and just start heading inland or, north or something, just out of the way. It is crazy the damage that it did, though. I mean, like, everyone's house is like completely ruined. Like, the fact that happens, or the threat of that, is always looming. It's like you just never know when that shit is going to get really serious, because a lot of times it's not. And when it is bad, though, it completely ruins everything, and it is horrible. And this is why I'm going to live in the Midwest forever, probably. What's the point in going anywhere, right? I'm already here. I've been here pretty much my whole life, right? I'll travel. I'll visit Florida, but not during hurricane season, You can pick the perfect time to visit any part of the world, the country in particular, and you can go the right time of year, and it is perfect. And then you could just experience that. But living there, no thanks. I'm good. People who decide to stay in hurricanes are like the same type of people that run in marathons. They're crazy, in my head, right? To me, I don't get it. Here's another Florida story for you. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen, I love saying her name, are getting divorced. And it's always entertaining to watch these types of things unfold. Not only is he probably one of the best football players to ever play, but he's also like uber rich, as his wife is actually, technically his wife, from what I've read, is worth more money than he is. So she's the breadwinner, which is hilarious to me. Like, what job do you think is harder when it comes to earning that much money? Because that's like elite, right? Like, you got to be so good at what you do in football to make that much money, and the amount of work that he has to put in. And then Giselle is a model, and I'm not saying this is an easy job, okay? Because I recently had engagement photos taken, and just my half-ass smile, holding it for 10 minutes, I was ready to snap. So I don't know how they do it, but would you rather be a model or a quarterback? I don't know. Like, if I could be a model and make more money than Tom Brady, I might take it. I might take the deal. There's all these rumors about why they're getting divorced and all that stuff, which it doesn't matter to me personally. I think it's funny that, like, they're in their 40s and, like, his career's like it's on the out, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna come back and play another season, and then all of a sudden she's like, I don't want you to play football, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go play. Like, apparently this is a big part of the decision to be divorced, which I have a hard time believing. I'm like, you're not telling me that nothing was going on before this? This seems like a little like a scapegoat for that, which is fine. That's life for you. But I think it's funny that two people this rich have to get divorced now over a football game, apparently, because that's what she's saying in the media. That's what not what she's saying, but what people are saying is that his decision to play another season is basically was the final nail in the coffin, which is funny to me, because why would you marry one of the best football players to ever play and then be surprised the guy won't quit? Like, how much better would your life be if you were if he's with you? Like, the guy's clearly a psycho. To be that good at something, there's no way he's fun to be around, right? There's no way. I find it funny that this divorce is over football, though. That can't be true. There's got to be more to it, because, like, what a stupid reason to, like, really end it. Like, normal people don't this isn't a problem for normal people. Normal people get divorced over, like, I guess there are stupid reasons, but for the most part, it's, like, pretty, like, real stuff. And it's like, oh, you wanted to play more football and make another, quite a few $1 million. Sounds like a good deal to me. Like, if you come out of retirement to play, if he's coming out of retirement, he's making millions. If any of us do it, it's not going to be that good. It's never worth it. Most people have to come out of retirement out of necessity, not because of, like, boredom and, like, I hate my wife and I don't want to be around her. This is why it was a good decision for him, because, he comes out of retirement, he gets to be a football star, and, like, it's to him, it's just going to the office. It's pretty easy at this point. But for me, if I come out of retirement, I got to go work at, like, Sherwin-Williams or something, just working a 9 to 5, trying to make some extra cash. All right, that's going to do it for me this week. If you enjoyed the show, tell your friends, send a link, share it on your social media. Go to my website, weekendupnate.com, and hit subscribe on your favorite app, and we'll see you next week for another new episode of Weekend UpNate.
You've been listening to the Weekend UpNate with Nate Armbruster, and you liked it, didn't you? If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Weekend UpNate.
Bye-bye.